please welcome author and certified life and love coach, Rebecca Lynn Pope. Hey there.
Hello, love. How are you?
It's good to see you.
You too.
Let's talk about this term, soft wife life. I know a lot of people, we see that hashtag, living a soft life. We put a wife in there.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means that as wives and women who want to be wives, that we need to get to a place of balance. We need to be able to tap into peace, work-life balance, being able to allow a man to take care of us, do for us, love us, support us, versus a hard life or a hard wife life where you are overwhelmed, overrun, overpressured, and out of balance. So it's really about bringing back in some of the more traditional values around being able to say, hey, I think we're a little exhausted.
Right.
I want to take my cape off.
Right, and that's interesting because I think people hear it and think, oh, it's just talking about being submissive to a man or submissive to, and you know, there's nothing wrong with being submissive if that's something, a space you feel comfortable in. But you're saying this is about both of you really submitting to a softer life.
It's about interdependence versus hyper independence, where you feel like you've got to do it all on your own. You've got to just take on everything yourself. It is about leaning on each other and supporting each other and allowing yourself to be loved and supported.
And this is something that you talk about from personal experience and from experiences that you share in your book. Right?
Definitely.
Tell me more.
So it's really important to understand that modern society is putting pressure on women to be everything. Career woman, professional woman, make all the money, right? Boss chick. And there's a lot of pressure to then also say, but we were supposed to have balanced relationships as well, and understand how to compartmentalize with men and still be softer and more feminine. But that has gotten lost in the sauce, Portia, right? How do we compartmentalize to show up as powerful in our more masculine energy professionally, but at the same time then show up as feminine in our relationships? It's very difficult.
And that femininity is really important here, right?
Yes.
And that's, sometimes I think some women they feel like that's, if I'm feminine, I'm vulnerable somehow, or I'm weak. You say that's not at all the case. How do you make the case if that's not the case?
Femininity is a superpower. If we think of masculinity as ambition, drive, competitiveness, right? The strength to just keep pushing through to get results. Femininity is resting in your peace. It's resting in your balance. It's patience. It's moving slower. In assurity and certainty is also very powerful because often we're rushing so much we don't realize we're taking on anxiousness.
And let me ask you this, is this something, these are lessons that you've learned? You've been married now for 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
And this is something, you know, you don't go into the marriage knowing all of this, right?
Definitely
Tell
not.
me about the marriage and how were you a hard wife when you got married?
Yes. Most definitely.
Did your husband feel like you were a hard wife? Did he express that?
He wasn't exactly great at expressing it, but we went through a lot of rocky years, Portia, where we were up and down. You know, we weren't communicating effectively. We weren't understanding each other effectively, right? We weren't leaning on each other. We weren't a safe place
yeah,
for
you're supposed
each
to be
other.
the safe place to land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, getting into that healing work and beginning to recognize what we really need from
So
each
what did
other.
that look like for you? Therapy?
Individual therapy, couples therapy, books, coaching, just really digging into the things that were holding us back from being vulnerable with each other.
Did you have an aha moment, or was it sort of this kind of evolution, like, you know what, I used to do that, I'm going to try this and see what reaction it elicits from my husband?
Right. About 4 years ago, I just began to get exhausted, and I began to pray.
That'll do it.
I was praying.
And
I'm like, God, I
it.
want more ease and flow. I'm tired of this pace I'm keeping. The pressure, the ambition, the drive. I owned several companies. I was just running myself ragged. And I began to pray some different prayers. I wanted to show up differently in life. And listen, be careful what you pray for, right? Because God will answer and start to show you what has to change.
So what did your husband say or do differently interacting with a soft wife that didn't happen with the hard wife? That seems so mean. I don't want to say hard wife, it's just judgmental. Sometimes we're just kind of strong. We don't mean any harm.
Especially if we've had strong mothers and our role models have been strong, super women, My husband pays 90% of the bills now, which allows my income to be invested, right? My income is then, instead of going into bills, we're able to then do some things that build longevity and wealth in our relationship and our partnership. And that's huge, right? It's being able to take that pressure off to where I can wake up and I can be productive, but I'm being productive with peace, not under the gun to perform.
What's the toughest part about making a transition from hard wife to soft wife?
Ego. Ego. We take on so much vanity and arrogance and ego and think that we have to be all these things in order to be successful or to be respected or to be loved. And getting back into the essence of who we are as women, we're loved before our femininity for who we are, not about performance.
That sounds so beautiful and so gentle. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.